Dad's Diner, the best food in the house. Well, we actually took a day off after roasting the chicken. That was Friday evening, and now it is Sunday morning. And most of the chicken has been eaten because we have 3 hungry boys in the house. So any of the meat that is still left on the chicken at this point you can slice off and save before making the soup. So I'm just gonna cut this last breast and maybe I'll save it in 2 pieces. Get that off the bone. So there's still a good amount of meat on this chicken carcass, and I never like to let the meat go to waste, and I learned a long time ago that you drive yourself crazy trying to pick every last scrap of meat off the bone. So the solution to that is to make a nice soup. And after the carcass has been in the hot water for a few hours, the meat's just going to fall right off the bone. Then you remove the bones and you can put in the rest of the ingredients for the soup. So there's what's left of our chicken, ready to go in the pot. So let's get it in the water. And now the chicken is in the pot. I kind of pulled the carcass apart because how much water we like to have is just enough water to cover up the chicken completely so that it will all get heated up by the boiling water. If the breastbone sits too high in the pot, you might get a more thin soup. I like to have not an excessive amount of liquid, so just enough water to cover up all the chicken pieces. So we pour in the final amount of water. Now our chicken, as you may remember from the beginning, we put some seasoning on it, so that seasoning is actually going to get the soup started with a good savory flavor. I'm going to put in some more seasonings later, and also some vegetables and other ingredients. But for the meantime, what I need to do is boil the chicken for a few hours so that the meat will fall off the bones. Then we'll remove the bones and start putting in the other ingredients. So we turn on the burner, and we can put it at its lowest setting because it's going to be here for a long time. Trust me, that will boil in time. So we're going to get a lid and cover the pot. But now our chicken is ready for its next phase of existence as soup. Okay, so this chicken has been simmering in the pot for several hours, and now it is time to take it out. Take it out very carefully. It's falling apart, but we want to make sure not to leave any bones in there. We will pick the meat off, which will now come very easily off the bone, having been boiled for so long. Discard any bones and skin, and then we will add the rest of the soup ingredients. So we're going to let this pile of chicken meat and bones cool for about a half an hour so we can pick off the meat by hand and put it back in the pot. And while it's cooling, we are going to chop up the vegetables for the rest of the soup ingredients. Okay, so as the Minecraft video makers say, I did some work off camera, chopped up some vegetables to go in the soup. What should you put in the chicken soup? Well, you've had chicken soup, you know what you know and like in there. What I like is some onions, 1 medium white onion, some celery, and some carrots. So we will take all of those and put them in the soup to simmer away for another hour or so. So now we will put, wow, we got a little dinner bell ringing there. We will put the vegetables into the soup. Be careful if it splashes, it could be a bit hot. So we got our onions, we've got our celery, and we've got carrots. I have also removed the bones from the chicken, and as you can see there's still a good amount of chicken meat left, and that's all going into the soup as well. The seasonings that we put on the chicken at the beginning, some of that has already infused itself into the soup. I can smell a bit of seasoning, but I think I'd like it even more seasoned. So I am going to put in just a little more of that four herb mix, the parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. And with that, we are just about ready to let that simmer for a while. At the end of that, I'm also going to put in some rice because I like chicken rice soup. That's optional, but we'll be back in an hour or two to complete the making of the soup. Oh yes, and I forgot one more thing. If you remember, when we were making the gravy, we made that stock for the gravy, and we strained out the chopped up giblets and vegetables that went into the stock. I don't like to waste anything, so this stuff is the consistency of ground meat at this point, and just gives a little extra flavor to the soup. So into the soup it goes, and now we have got a nice mixture that is going to simmer for a while, and then we'll add the rice, and then our soup will be complete. So now we have the final component of this soup as I make it. As I said earlier, I like to make chicken rice soup. So I take 1 cup of long grain white rice and I put it into the soup. Now you need to make sure to stir this for the next 30 to 60 minutes, otherwise it's going to settle to the bottom and could possibly get clumped up and overcooked. But you put the rice in, you stir it and let it simmer for a half hour to an hour, and when that is done you have got your complete chicken rice soup. So that is the final stage of that chicken that we cooked earlier. We've gotten a lot of good meals, a lot of good food out of this chicken, so that's why I call this making the most of your chicken roast. Everybody enjoy your meal.